Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRIENDS and Detroit LIONS fans. Let's get to the news in an electrifying turn of events that could reshape the NFC North and send shockwaves through the league. The Detroit Lions are reportedly in serious talks to acquire Patrick Surtain II from the Denver Broncos. This isn't just a rumor. Sources close to the situation suggest that the Lions are eyeing this move to bolster their secondary and push even further into playoff contention. With Detroit sitting at 6-3 and showing no signs of slowing down, adding a player of Surtain's caliber could be the final piece to turn this already formidable defense into a true championship-winning unit. But what makes this potential trade so significant, and why is everyone talking about it? Let's dive into the details, analyze what this could mean for the Lions, and explore how it fits into the broader picture of this season's NFL landscape. First off, Patrick Surtain II is an absolute star. At just 25 years old, he's already established himself as one of the league's top cornerbacks. An All-Pro selection in 2024, Surtain's been lighting up the NFL with his consistency, ball skills, and shutdown ability. This season alone, he's posted a PFF grade of 90, which ranks among the top for cornerbacks across the league. His 7 interceptions, coupled with a minuscule 0. 48 yards per cover snap, show how disruptive he can be. Not only does he excel in coverage, but his 2% interception rate is second best in the NFL, a testament to his playmaking ability. Surtain's coverage stats are exceptional, allowing just under 50% completion percentage, with no recorded injuries in 2025 and 15 PBUs, which puts him right at the top among defensive backs. His career coverage grade of 89. 6-0 injuries this season underline his durability and elite status. Now if we compare him to other shutdown corners, like Sauce Gardner, who sports an 88. 9 career grade, Surtain's numbers stand out even more. His ability to lock down elite receivers, combined with an impressive +2. 4 grade differential versus top-tier WRs makes him a game changer. For the Lions, acquiring someone like Surtain would mean significantly elevating their secondary, especially considering their current issues with injuries and depth at CB. Brian Branch has been limited, with only 3 interceptions and missing 2 games, while Carlton D. Davis's status remains uncertain. Bringing in Surtain wouldn't just fill a gap, it would transform the Lions' pass defense into one of the league's most formidable units. This in turn would make it much harder for opponents to attack Detroit deep, forcing offenses to adjust and reducing the number of explosive plays allowed. But why would the Broncos consider trading Surtain? Well, Denver is in a bit of a rebuild mode after a rough start to the season, sitting at 4-5, and they're dealing with some instability at quarterback. Reports indicate that the Broncos are looking to free up cap space, particularly around $15 million, which they plan to use to bolster their offensive line, especially after dealing with injuries and inconsistent play. The Broncos also have a surplus of defensive backs, with some analysts pointing out that their cornerback room is crowded. Sources like Schefter have mentioned that Denver is sellers approaching the trade deadline on November 4th, and they're reportedly asking for a second-round pick in 2026 and a third-round pick in 2027 in exchange for Surtain. That's a significant price, but for the Lions, it could be a worthwhile investment considering the impact he would have on their defense. From the Lions' perspective, this move aligns perfectly with their current strategy of building a top-tier defense that can carry them deep into the postseason. With a secondary that already features Kerby Joseph, who's been solid with an 85-4 grade, and a front 7 that is arguably one of the league's best right now, adding Surtain would elevate the entire unit. Detroit's pass defense has been improving, with projections indicating they could add around 10 more interceptions this season, and they'd see a reduction of 18% in aerial yards allowed, averaging around 220 yards per game. This would translate into more turnovers, more scoring opportunities, and a defense that can strike fear into opposing quarterbacks. The impact of a lockdown corner like Surtain cannot be overstated. He would not only improve the secondary but also boost the overall EPA per target, pushing it to -0.28, and allow Detroit to be even more aggressive in coverage schemes. This kind of move would also send a message across the league. The Lions are serious contenders and willing to make bold moves to secure a Super Bowl window. The NFC North is already competitive, but a trade like this could redefine the balance of power. The Green Bay Packers, for example, have benefited this season from Jaire Alexander's play, which has been instrumental in their improved defense. Adding Surtain to the Lions' mix could give Detroit a similar advantage. It's worth noting that the betting odds for Detroit to make a deep playoff run have already improved, with the odds shifting from +700 to +420, reflecting the confidence in their increased championship potential. Looking ahead, analysts see the Lions as a team with a blend of dynamic offense and a bolstered defense that could make a real push for the Super Bowl. Their offense, led by Jared Goff and supported by a talented group of skill position players, remains one of the most potent in the league. However, it's their defense, especially the secondary, that has been a point of concern at times. A player like Surtain could be the difference maker that allows Detroit to dominate in key moments, especially in high-stakes playoff games. His addition could also serve as a catalyst for the entire defensive unit, boosting the confidence of other players and creating a ripple effect of improved performance. On the flip side, the Broncos are cautious, aiming to rebuild their roster thoughtfully. They are prioritizing picks to improve their offensive line, especially given the injuries and underperformance of their current unit. Their focus seems to be on creating a balanced team that can compete in the long term, similar to what the Seahawks did in 2023 by emphasizing youth and draft capital. For Denver, trading Surtain is a strategic move, even if it might seem like a step back in the short term. They're looking to develop a more sustainable roster that can contend in the future, especially with young quarterback Bo Nix, who has shown promise but needs better protection and weapons around him. For the Lions, pulling off a trade for Surtain would be a statement. It would serve as a clear message that they're all in on making this season their best shot at the Super Bowl in recent memory. With their current roster, they're already playing at a high level, but adding a player of Surtain's caliber would push them to an elite status. It could also help them close the gap against other AFC powerhouses and prepare for tough matchups in the playoffs. The Lions' front seven, led by stars like Aiden Hutchinson, has already been disruptive, but a lockdown corner would complement that pressure perfectly, forcing turnovers and making life miserable for opposing QBs. Fans are already buzzing about the potential impact. Imagine the Detroit defense, with Surtain locking down one side of the field, allowing the pass rush to pin their ears back and hunt for sacks. Opposing offenses would have to rethink their entire game plan, and that kind of strategic advantage is what separates good teams from great ones. Plus, for Detroit, it's about building a legacy, creating a defense that can compete with the best and sustain success over multiple seasons. The Lions have been knocking on the door for years, and this move could be the key to finally breaking through and making some serious noise in the playoffs and beyond. Of course, nothing is certain until the trade actually happens, but the signs are pointing strongly in this direction. The NFL trade deadline is approaching, and with the Broncos reportedly open to moving Surtain for the right offer, the Lions are poised to make a bold move. They succeed, it could be a game changer not just for this season, but for the next several years. The NFC North might be about to get even more competitive, and the Lions will be right at the forefront, pushing their chips in and aiming for that ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. So Lions fans, get ready for what could be one of the most exciting trade deadlines in recent memory. The possibility of Patrick Surtain donning the Honolulu blue and silver is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. It's a move that screams confidence, ambition, and a desire to finally bring that Lombardi trophy back home to Detroit. The team is already on the rise, and with a little extra help on the back end, they could be unstoppable. Let's keep our fingers crossed, stay tuned, and get ready for what promises to be a wild ride. The Detroit Lions are redefining what it means to chase greatness, and this season might just be the one we remember forever. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and TO, the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.